Howdy folks, welcome back to the channel. We are doing war number 2 of season 48. So for those who saw my previous video, you know that we lost war 1 of season 48. Any loss is unfortunate, but this one particularly unfortunate because it put us down into tier 3. And everything is the same in tier 3. It's the same map, it's same number of bands, everything, except that it's a lower points multiplier. I think it's times 6 instead of times 7 in tier 2. So that's pretty bad, right? We want to be in tier 2 as much as possible to get that higher points multiplier in order for us to end up in Platinum 2 at the end of the season, which is our goal. So the pressure is on us. Obviously, pressure's on everywhere, but we especially want to win this one so we can get back into tier 2. So let's see how this path is going to shake out for us today. It's path 4 again. First fight is against Vision Aarkus. Haven't seen him before in off-season wars or in the first war of the season. He is tactic. Fight number 2 is going to be against Morbius. He's not tactic and not someone that commonly see on path 4. So that's an interesting one. Skip ahead a bit here. The next fight is going to be against Zemo. You saw 2 Zemos last war, so it's going to be another Zemo on this 3rd node again. It's going to be a popular placement probably most of this season. Fight 4 against Crossbones, another tactic defender. Haven't seen him in the off-season or in the first war, so this is going to be my first fight against him. I've selected this, again, this thing mini-boss on node, I think it's 37. Same one that I took at the previous war. And then I've selected this Adam Warlock mini on the final boss island, the right side, first node. Yeah, we'll see the details once we come to that fight. First fight is against Vision Aarkus. He is a tactic defender. He is unduped. So, you know, the main annoying thing, well, one of the main annoying things about Aarkus on defense is when he is duped and he has that percentage chance to purify any debuffs, including stun debuffs that you place on him. But I'm not going to have to worry about that. So the main remaining, thing that I'm going to have to worry about is just his power gain and his ability to inflict cold snap on you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with Kushala, right? It's tactic defender, so I'm going to come in with a tactic attacker. She doesn't really have any particular abilities. She has some ability to nullify, but other than that, she's not really, she doesn't really have anything going for her other than just being a great champ against Aarkus. So all I'm going to do is just maybe back off a little bit more than usual to avoid that cold snap. And again, the key thing is his power gain, which is going to let him possibly get to L2, which will do a good amount of damage even into block. I have no chance of evading the L2, or worse yet, go to the L3, right? And then that's quite a bit of damage that you can't avoid, and also it has some side effects. So just bait the L1s as much as possible. Again, unduped Aarkus, I think it's a 7-star rank 1. I'm not really too worried about this fight. So let's see how it goes in practice. So we start out, we're going to try the usual Kushala rotation, which is get to that L2, get the soul barb up, and then spam L1s from there. So unfortunately, I haven't really followed the game plan. He's already at 2 bars of power. I'm going to have to wait to bait this now. Fortunately, he does cooperate, and he throws it fairly quickly. His health is ticking down very rapidly, right? It's really just going to take 1 more L1, and he's going to be finished. So under 30 seconds to finish that fight. Pretty happy with that, right? Couldn't have gone really any better, other than maybe following that game plan to bait the L1s a little bit more precisely. But in any case, on to the second fight, which is against Mr. Morbius here. So Morbius, again, like I said before, is a bit of an odd placement here. He doesn't really have any attributes that really interact in any special way with these nodes. I mean, I guess if you get caught, he can place bleeds on you, which are debuffs, but other than that, he really shouldn't really be all that tough of a defender. So what I'm going to do for this guy is come in with basically an attacker that I have to use for other fights. So it's barely just a fill-in, but I'm going to use Storm PX here. Storm PX doesn't have any really special abilities against Morbius, but none are really needed, right? It's going to be very simple. The one thing that Morbius can get you with is his glide. his ability to basically be unblockable on his dash in. So just wait for that, he has a special icon that will show when it's about to activate, so just go ahead and keep an eye on that and keep distance so that you can safely evade it. Other than that, it should be a nothing fight. So let's see if indeed it is that easy as I'm predicting. So again, coming in with Storm PX, I do have that heal block up on me, which really shouldn't be that big a deal. So he has that glide, he activated it, I was able to evade. Now I just want to bait out that L1. He actually catch me just on a regular dash back. I forgot they actually did put an indestructible boost on, just in case I got caught by a glide, right? So it wouldn't be disastrous, but you can see even though I have a few debuffs on me and he has that Fury up, not a big deal. Let him go ahead and throw that L2, which also activated the glide. I'm building my way up to my own L2, which is the main attack that I want to be throwing with Storm Pyramid X. And we're about to see, after baiting this, how much it's going to do for me. I'll bait on another glide, I guess, and another special. Hopefully now I do throw it. We'll strike her probably... Okay, a quick heavy charge. I'm not sure that really did anything for me, and then L2, which did a fair bit of damage. I was hoping it would do more, but it did fine. So he's down around 30%, and now this one hopefully will kill him. Not quite, so he's still got a little bit left. One more glide. He's mostly just bleeding out. I just tapped him with that L1 in order to finish him. Yeah, Morbius down. First half of Path 4 down. So now we're into the second half, starting with our favorite guy, Zemo here. So again, had the same exact fight last war. We are coming in with a different attacker this time around. Bishop is banned, so I'm going to have to come in with Storm Pyramid X, who's my main attacker for this war. So, her main things are, I guess, big special damage once you build up prowesses and the ability to have the... passive stun on the parry. That particular ability, the passive stun on parry, isn't really relevant for this Zemo fight. Zemo doesn't purify stuns, so I'm really just looking to throw L2s, right? So I'm going to put on a mutant power back boost so I can spam those L2s, right? And hopefully it just takes one or two in order to kill him. So let's go ahead and see that fight in action. I am a little bit worried about his ability to inflict a lot of damage through block on me, so I'm hoping I kill him quickly. A little bit of foreshadowing there as far as whether or not I am able to kill him quickly. You'll see this volume bar keep on jumping up and down. I was holding my phone, I guess, a little bit oddly, so I kept on hitting the volume button by accident. So there he throws the L1. I wait too long to throw my L2. Annoying. So that's going to extend the fight, and you'll see what else it does. So now he has 2 disorients up, and he has a couple indestructibles, so I have to get some parries. And you can see it's fairly significant block damage that I'm taking here. I'm not really worried about it. My main goal is just to get through this fight, because, not to spoil the following fight, but I'm not really that concerned about the final fight that I'm going to have to take with Storm. So he's down at 30% now. I'm just trying to finish this. I'm close to my L2. And hopefully this will be a kill shot. It is. So it got down to 56% health. Not ideal because, again, although I'm not really concerned about my final fight here on this path, I'm not going to go in with 55% health, so it is going to cost me some potions. But yes, the final fight on Path 4 is Crossbones. Crossbones is tactic. But really, again, he doesn't really interact with these nodes in any special way. The main thing that makes Crossbones a somewhat problematic defender is that he purifies debuffs, and that's where Storm Pyramid X is going to be a total counter for him, because she's just going to turn those stuns into passive stuns if he does purify the debuff. Yeah, he's not really going to be getting any debuffs on me, so I don't really have to worry about any aspect of the node. The painful retreat, so yeah, just watch out for those power stings. But other than the power stings, really, it's going to be simple. So as I already said, I am coming in with Storm Pyramid X, and you can see how simple the game plan is. Just no reason to get him to L2s, just bait his L1s out and throw my L2s until he's dead. I still have that power back boost active from the previous fight, so that should be fairly easy to do. So let's go ahead and switch back. And let's see how we do. So you could see that passive stun kick in there because he did purify my initial parry. I'm close to 2 bars of power already. Let me just bait out this L1. It's kind of interesting that my dexterity doesn't proc there, even though I was pretty close to him when I dexed. So it actually gives me a lot of power back, right? It almost killed him, so I was pretty sure that now I had 7 prowesses up, that this L3 would be a kill shot, but surprisingly enough, you know, he started at 16% and he only goes down to 5%. Not a big deal, right? He's obviously going to just die pretty quickly anyway, but yeah, it was just surprising that I thought Storm's L3 was stronger than that. Alright, so we're on to the mini-bosses now. The first one is going to be a somewhat boring one because I took the same exact fight with, spoiler, the same exact counter the previous one, right? So, thing on this regen node, again, it's a very popular placement, but Void really just makes it a joke of a fight because he can just reverse all that regen by playing the fight normally. So, again, you heard me say the same thing last time. Push into 15 rock stacks, bait out a special, counter with special ones of my own, get as many intimidating debuffs on him as I can so that I'm reversing his regen. That's really it. So let's see how that plays out. I'm going to play this fight at double speed because, again, it's not an exciting fight to begin with, and you already saw it the previous war. But yeah, just it's a slow fight at the beginning, right? The first kind of minute or so goes by without him losing much health. But once you get those petrifies up on him, then it starts ticking away pretty consistently, right? So you do have the first petrify up. Second petrify should be coming pretty soon, and you should start seeing him melting. You know, somewhat poor luck in getting the petrifies last, so when we get into Fear of the Void, it's going to slow down a little bit, but then quickly pick back up as the debuffs start proccing again. So he's already down below half health. Let's see how, again, it's double speed, but he is melting pretty quickly. Second Fear of the Void kicks in. Although I really need those petrifies, right? So you can see the pace slow down a little bit, but now he's dead. So, yeah, definitely I recommend to anybody, if you can spare a slot for Void on your team and you have this fight to deal with, that's definitely a cakewalk of a fight. Alright, so on to the second and final mini that I'll be taking this war, which is Adam Warlock on node 47, which again is that first node on the right-hand side of the final boss island. So Adam Warlock is a very popular placement on that node. I've never taken him on that node before, though, at least not in this tier. I have taken that node before, but just it so happened with other defenders. So as far as this node goes, you can see there's quite a few effects up. Basically what's going on is that he's going to be consuming less power with every single special that he throws. He's going to be, every time I think a buff expires off of him, a timer starts, and if I don't knock him down within that timer, then I'm going to get a falter placed on me. If I do knock him down, then he gets a falter placed on him. But I can't really depend on the falter because Feat of Vigilance will give him periodically a vigilance buff, which will prevent him from missing. And then there's also return policy, so if I nullify any buffs, that's actually just going to give him power. And on top of all that, he is tactic. So my plan, and the main reason why I came in with Kushala for this war, was because I thought she would be effective against this Adam Warlock. You know, he procs a lot of buffs. I can turn all those buffs into Incinerate. He's weak against Soul Bar. Kushala has a Soul Bar. So, fairly standard Kushala game plan. Throw the L2, get Soul Bar up, and then spam L1 from there. I'm also going to start with the Power Start 1 boost for this fight so that I can get to that L2 quickly. And again, watch out for that falter, right? I just want to keep an eye out for that. I was fairly confident going in. Again, we will see if I can actually put that game plan into proper practice. So I start with a heavy to get that spell up, a couple heavies actually, and I'm already close to 2 bars of power. and we throw it to get the soul barb active. A little bit of lag there. So one thing that's interesting is that he's actually going to activate his stasis pod here, even though he had a soul barb up. So I have to reread his description because I thought he just couldn't even activate it at all if he had soul barb. But in any case, I don't know if you noticed it. I mean, the whole point is that I didn't notice it myself. The falter warning, that approaching falter, you can see it now, but the previous one only showed for like 1 frame. So that's why I didn't notice it, and then I got myself into trouble. So you can see this fight definitely hasn't gone according to plan. He's just spamming special after special, cornering me, doing damage on me, and you know, I'm just kind of desperate at this point. I knew the heavy wasn't going to push him to 3 bars, but he had some automatic power gain that took him to that 3 bars, and now it's just good night. So, second war of the season, I died on the last mini in the first war, and I died in the last mini in this second war again. Frustrating for me. It's my own fault. I really didn't have a good enough game plan going, and I'll talk about that a little bit more after this cleanup goes. So I heal back up to full. You know, I think I had in my mind that I want to really just be spamming my specials as much as possible, so I don't even bother with the soul barb. I just want to get that incinerate up on him. So so he's ticking down pretty steadily. Another heavy. I can block that unblockable special because I'm Kushala and I have that spell up. And then this should finish. Yes, it does. So like I was saying at the outset, on review, my game plan wasn't good enough. You know, I didn't have a good enough sense of at what points in the fight is he going to be getting buffs and how frequently, and what I should do about that. Because that's the main point of the node. I really should have had a better game plan. I should have asked my officers for advice. So that's on me. I usually prepare very well for my fights, and this one is a death due to lack of preparation. So again, previous war I had to, the lesson was be a little bit more patient, and this war it's just got to be diligent about making sure that you are calculating that game plan more precisely before every single fight. If you saw DLL's last video, well, his first war of the season video, at the end of it, he starts talking about this meta and how you have to think about it. And you know, he says that this is basically not the kind of meta that you can just come in and try to finish the fight quickly and avoid any of the annoying aspects of the meta. You really have to have a sound game plan. You can't just outdamage this this meta. Well, for the most part, you can't just outdamage. You can't, I guess, nuke your way to victory. You really do have to have a plan for how you're going to deal with the indestructibles. So again, that usually is a strength of mine. Not this particular fight. Something I have to keep in mind for next time. But in any case, like I said, we really needed to win this war, and we did end up winning. So kudos to the opposing alliance. They did play us close for over half the war, but as they started running into some of the boss nodes, they started having some trouble, and then you can see that they started just spamming revives at that point. So so we won by a decent margin. We're back in tier 2 for the next war. We're actually going to be facing Relax. I already know who the next opponent is, so that's going to be interesting. They're not really a war-focused alliance, but they obviously have very big rosters, being one of the top AQ alliances. So we'll see what kind of troubles that presents for us, and we'll see if we can come away with another win, so we can get more points and solidify our space in tier 2. Okay, that's going to do it for me. Hope you found this war enjoyable, this footage enjoyable, learned something. If you have anything that you think I could learn from, please do leave some feedback in the comments. And also please like and subscribe. All right. Have a good one. I'll see you for War 3.